Welcome to the No Dogs podcast. This is a podcast without any dogs.
Yep.
This week we've determined who the dog is by whether they were here on time to record by the end of the House Martin's Caravan of Love.
Which has kind of been the traditional start of the podcast for a while now.
Yeah, unbeknownst to everyone.
Yeah. I have an advantage because I start the stream and I push play on the song, so I'm never going to be late.
Did I miss it?
Look who's just rolled out of the kennel.
All right, calm down.
Salty, welcome to the No Dogs Club.
Thanks, mate.
No.
Did I miss the caravan?
You missed the caravan of love, yeah. I decided to hit record right at the end of it.
Right.
Thus determining who the dog was today.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. And bloody Cam's only on one leg.
Yeah, I'm 8 still.
What have you done to yourself, mate?
The listeners won't be interested in my trials and travails, I guarantee you. I'm not even interested in them.
Oh, we're actually recording. Like, this is the podcast.
Yeah, we're going.
All right. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to handle with our little pre-show bants, but it's fine.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten anything out of his system. This could be problematic.
So, Pete, this is how we do the No Dogs Club. It's a little bit looser than the typically tight Hypothetical Institute.
Oh, yeah.
A podcast famous for staying on script.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, this week we're talking about sea slugs.
We are talking about sea slugs. Do we want to start off by talking about the biggest sea slug?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Mate.
Yeah, do we want to... all right. Well, I guess first we need to establish what a sea slug is.
Yes.
So I went to Reddit to find out what a sea slug was. Which is, I mean, let's face it, Reddit, if you're looking for anything on the internet now, you just put plus Reddit and then you find the right answer because the other big tech has abandoned us.
Yeah, and I mean, people on Reddit are famously, they've got their heads screwed on, right? Is that what you're saying? Like, you can trust the Redditors.
A well-moderated subreddit, yes. But there are some charlatan subreddits. I will admit to that.
Yeah, are we sure that the sea slug subreddit isn't secretly alt-right?
This wasn't a sea slug subreddit.
Did you investigate?
This was from Ask Science.
All right. Well,
which I think is a pretty well-moderated one.
Sure.
If you go into one of these and you see a lot of deleted comments, you know, like you go into some of these threads and the mods are just like anything off topic, they're getting nuked. No joke.
I thought if you went in and saw a lot of deleted topics, like something bad happened here.
Oh, that is also true. Both can be true. I'm just going to look up the Sea Slug subreddit to see what actually exists on there. But yeah, basically, in my research, Reddit r/Sea Slugs, 1.1k members, hasn't been updated for a year, but has some cool pictures of some sea slugs people have taken. Yeah. Mostly the nudie brank.
Yeah, that's the problem. Look at this description. Only the hottest nudie branks. That's not what we want.
And that's kind of caused my confusion when I was researching this. Nudie branks kept on coming up, and I was like, well, what's the difference between a sea slug and a nudie brank?
Yeah.
Also, I was surprised to learn they're called nudie branches.
Right, is that how you're supposed to say it?
No, they're not called nudie branches, sorry. In my mind, they were.
Right.
Then everyone says nudie brank. I feel like nudie branch is more fun.
Nudie branch, yeah.
It's all fun, as long as you've got the nudie.
Yeah, nude is what makes it.
Yeah, fair play. Anyway, this comment is from Moose Mutton on Reddit. So now the term sea slug is just a generic term for any aquatic gastropod that looks slug-like. Terrestrial slugs meet up with sea slugs in the interclass Euthenura. Blah, 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 blah. Another comment from you fucking bores. You fucking bores says, a slug is a gastropod without a shell. A sea slug is a slug that lives in the sea. A nudibranch is one particular taxonomic group of sea slugs, sort of like how mammals are one particular taxonomic group of land animals.
Yeah.
So like any gastropod in the sea without a shell is a sea slug.
Yeah. So all nudibranchs are sea slugs, but not all sea slugs are nudibranchs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did see some people being like, they were trying to
you remember that saying, guys? Just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same as Poo-poo time is always pee-pee time, but pee-pee time is not always poo-poo time.
What is
See,
happening?
this is why we needed him to be here before. I did see some people trying to shoehorn sea snails in. They're like, "Can we talk about sea snails?" It's like, no, absolutely not. What are you thinking? If
Well,
you're even thinking at all,
slugs and snails are kind of the same, right?
are they?
This one's homeless.
Yeah, I don't know. That's where I draw the line.
Okay.
I listened to a podcast where one lady's it's the Ocean Science Radio podcast, but they have a sub podcast called Ocean Lovin',
Right.
and they talk about the sex lives of nudibranchs, which, oh my, there's a lot going on there. But before we get into that, one of the ladies on this podcast, her specialty was working out why different species evolve similarly.
Mm-hmm.
So why some shelled gastropods, separate to each other, unrelated, but have shells, evolve to lose their shells, basically, and become slugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she had an answer. She's still doing a PhD, so...
No, because it doesn't make sense, really. It's a bit of a backward step. To
Yeah,
be like,
absolutely.
I'm hanging out in the ocean, which is not full of friendly things for a little bloke.
Mm.
Do I want to have...
squishy bloke?
Do I want to be wearing armor? And also be able to pop inside and, like a turtle, sit in my armchair and read and smoke a pipe? Yeah. Or do I want to just be exposed to the elements?
You raise a good point. I mean, I guess, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but some nudibranchs have developed a way to stop that. They've got some pretty... They put a fella in hospital. This Australian guy that I'm going to talk about later on.
Yeah.
He's been in hospital 3 times.
Mate, he needs to stop licking them.
Yeah, over the one nudibranch? Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. All right. Well, let's go to the biggest sea slug for a start.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I don't know what the biggest sea slug is still.
You're about to learn. Aplysia vaccaria. Anyone want to have a guess of how big this... I think it's got a different name. Hang on. Oh, the Black Sea Hare. H-A-R-E.
Oh, yeah.
I would like some guesses on longest, like when it's crawling, what the distance, the long part of its body, because you know how they kind of crawl.
And they like stretch out.
Stretch out, yep. So fully extended, how big, and also I would like take some guesses on some weight. We'll be using the metric system today.
So we're guessing erect and not flaccid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Could I guess that the Black Sea hare is about as long as a land hare in full flight? Your average land hare? It's like rabbit-sized?
Average size of a hare.
In full flight.
In full flight. So, legs extended, bounding across the fields.
Okay.
Perhaps with some stolen vegetables from the farmer's garden he's following with his shotgun. Oh, okay. Bloody rabbits.
I think it's hard. It's going to be hard for me to get a figure on the longest hare in full flight.
Okay. I'm saying an average hare.
I mean, you
don't need to go find... I'm not asking you to go find the longest hare.
No one's measuring a hare when it's running. It's just not how you measure them.
Okay.
They measure, so the body and hair length of the an average hare from notch to tip. That's its ears. Sorry. Okay, the body from head to tail,
from its little fluffy cotton tail to the tippy top of his floppy ears, please.
Yeah, we're 60 to 75 centimeters.
All right, yeah, that sounds.
I'm going to say less than that. I'm going to say about half of that.
Sounds like a big sea slug.
So what's that, like 30 centimeters?
30, 35
yeah,
centimeters.
Half of 60 would be 30, 35.
All right, I'm holding up a ruler. It's a 40 centimeter ruler, which is crazy, right? Aren't rulers always 30?
30 or 45 sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Is this a brewer's ruler?
It's just a ruler that's in our office. I don't know where it came from. So that's 40 centimeters. So 30, that's pretty long. If I saw a slug that long, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm saying it's double that length.
You're saying 60?
We're talking deep under the water, probably.
Let's have a look at how far. Well, there's a photo of it on land, but that might just be it's dead. Production, mating habits, lifestyle.
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 Yeah, I mean, they got to live too, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
It's a herbivore, feeds on brown algae. The large size. Okay, here's a little clue on how big it is. The large size of it contributes to its lack of predators. It is simply too big for many predators to attack or consume.
Oh, that's going to be a little bit big.
Oh, yeah. I think it doesn't have a lot of... Oh, it's got some toxins that it gets from foods, which I think a lot of these animals do. All right, Cam, did you want to say 60?
Yeah, 60, 70.
99 centimeters.
Wow.
When crawling, thus fully extended. This is thanks to wikipedia.org.
They do good work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Could
think,
maybe ease up on asking for money, but yeah.
I think there's something about Wikipedia that something bad's happened to Wikipedia, I think. That's a different episode. Anyone want to guess on the weight of such a large sea slug?
Ooh.
I'm going to say 33% heavier than the average hair.
Okay, average weight over here. Weight over here. Depends on what we're talking about.
Oh, but they're very floppy little blokes, aren't they? They don't have bones and things.
Yeah, so we've got
That's where a lot of the weight's coming from in a rabbit.
So
Rabbits have light bones.
The Arctic here. We'll go European here. I think that's the standard one that we're all thinking of.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a hare that's stealing a carrot and is being chased.
Yeah, the Arctic hare ain't stealing.
That's not an Arctic hare. No.
Average weight of a European hare. 3.8 kilo. So you're saying times 4 times 3?
No, not 4 times. I'm saying
4 times 3.
33% heavier.
Oh,
so a third heavier than that.
So 1 kilo heavier.
Yeah.
Oh,
times
okay.
1.33 if you want to pop it in your calculator.
So 4 kilos roughly.
Yeah.
So you're saying 5 kilos because it's 3.8. So 5 kilos.
Okay.
All right, 5 kilos, sure.
Sure. Salty?
I'm going to say 10 kilos.
Oh, wrong once again for both of you. 14 kilogram was the longest
Oh, my
recorded.
goodness.
14 kilogram. Relatively firm. And it's just a big dense boy, really. There's a photo on Wikipedia of someone holding one. It's really nice to see, actually. I'm enjoying seeing that photo while I'm talking.
What's enjoyable about it?
It's just a big boy. And, well, yeah, a big boy and a big girl because most of these creatures are hermaphrodites. Also nice to see it swimming. It really spreads its body right out.
I'm also having a look at one now. Yeah. It's a big boy.
Nice to see.
Yeah.
Nice floppy boy. That's what we want.
Yeah. I looked up the smallest one, but I didn't note it down. You guys want to have a guess of the smallest sea slug?
Oh, I guess it's pretty small.
Yeah. Probably like
thumbnail size?
Millimeters, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Shall I measure my thumbnail, or are we going with someone else's thumbnail?
Let's go with a normal hand thumbnail.
Yeah.
Should we measure the tiniest, shiniest thumb?
My thumbnail was 9 millimeters. What do you think about that?
All right, so I'm
this is from top to tip of my thumbnail.
12 millimeters then.
Wait, so you said 12. How big is your thumbnail, Luke?
9 from cuticle to the top. I trimmed them maybe 2 or 3 days ago, so there's,
Oh yeah, this is your normal thumbnail, not your Coke thumbnail, right?
Yeah, this is not my. I mean, it's on my little finger, the Coke stuff.
All right,
yeah.
Of course.
So Cam thinks bigger than Luke's thumbnail. I'm going to say smaller than Luke's thumbnail.
Smaller than 9 millimeters?
Yeah, like 6.
Or 8 millimeters.
Ooh.
Oh.
Salty was closest. Salty wins. I wish I had a prize. I wish I had thought this was a game before we started.
Oh, mate, that would have been great. Imagine if I just wanted a little prize on the podcast.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty fun.
I mean, you get, hey, Salty,
Yeah.
10 points. 10 points to you.
Mate. Yes.
Hey.
I love a point.
And if you got it right at home or in the car or on the train or even at work, 10 points to you too.
10 points.
Yeah, nice. Do we want to talk about how they mate?
Yeah. I want you to tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me slowly.
Okay. I don't want you to tell me, but I know that I'm going to have to hear it.
Yeah, it is a lot. So I this is mostly with nudibranches, but I also have a really cool video that people need to look up about the flatworm as well, which is related. It's not a nudibranch, but very similar. You differentiate the two because they're flat.
Right.
And worm-like, I guess. Most of them are, I think, if not all, are hermaphrodites. There's many species or many types. Some of them, when they're mating, they're basically mating at both sides, so giving and receiving at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Reverse.
Sorry?
Reverse. That's what the kids call it.
Oh,
Moving on.
really? Okay. And then, so like
That's,
they both...
That's for like our cool audience. They'll be laughing at that.
Okay.
Is this the kids that are going to be banned from listening to us on social media?
Yeah, maybe. I think
Surely-
I don't think that they can't ban podcasts.
Surely we're exempt from any bans. The kids need the Hypothetical Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them, they're doing it at the same time, and then they just head off, and then they lay eggs separately. So yeah, you just kind of, it's a good trade-off. Some of them have barbed penises.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them have barbed vaginas.
Yep.
The barbed penis is so when they mate, and if it's previously mated, the one that they're mating with, they pull out all the sperm
Mm-hmm.
from the one they're mating with, and then they drop their penis. I just dropped my pencil as I said that. I'm gesturing with a pencil, you see. They drop their penis, and that takes out all the sperm and then leaves it unfertilized, or leaves it, it doesn't do its job, it's just on the seafloor. And then within 24 hours, it regenerates its dinger and then has another go.
Right. Uses its barbed penis to bang this other sea slug.
Yeah.
Then goes, this penis is now covered in all sorts of jizz.
Yeah.
So it drops it like a lizard's tail.
Yeah.
Grows a fresh one.
Yeah.
And goes back in.
100%.
That's
You know what
nature
I'd say?
at its finest, if you ask me.
I'd say to the sea slugs that grow up.
I think that might be the most grown up you could be.
It's very mature.
Sounds like it's just a little bit of some other bloke's jizz. Just get in there, mate. Grow up.
Yeah, you need to grow up, Cam. Another one, the barbed vaginas, that's just to kind of keep mating happening while they're bopping around in the ocean.
Right.
Say if they're in on the shore and it's washing people, washing them around, or they're in a swift current, they lock them in. Meanwhile, some of them, and they don't know why they do this at all from an evolutionary standpoint, while they're mating, will start killing their mate.
Right.
Like with a spike in their back of their head.
Oh.
What happened to a little bit of gentle choking?
Yeah. No.
I know.
They're very advanced in what they're up to. They are bloody so far ahead of us. I'll repeat the name of the podcast because they kind of talk about this a bit more in depth. It's the Ocean Lovin' podcast about nudibranchs. But
Is
yeah,
the Ocean Loving podcast just about this aspect of ocean life? The ocean loving? Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And just about nudibranchs?
No.
This particular episode was.
Just this episode, right.
But they had multiple experts talking about it. It just wasn't one or two people.
Okay.
Because I started off listening to an ABC podcast about it, and they kind of alluded to a little bit of stuff, but not really. And I was like, I reckon we can get nastier than this.
No,
Actually, I couldn't find it on Spotify, the ABC one, when I was cooking. So I looked up another one and stumbled across this one. But yeah, they don't know why they do this, why they kill the mate. It's completely different to other species. Another thing they do is they have little orgies.
There we go.
Where sometimes it's in a line, and they all just kind of fall into place and do whatever needs to happen. Sometimes they get a little circle going.
Yep.
Sometimes they switch in and out where they are in the line. And again, they're not really sure why this happens. They kind of think because they're kind of so small and it's hard to find each other, because I don't think they have eyes.
Yeah.
Then, like, the more of them, the more presence they have in the ocean. So it helps them all evolutionary if they have a big orgy.
Right. There was a time on this podcast where we used to just always talk about jerk-off circles, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there was. I'm sure there was.
I don't think there was. We talked about conspiracy theories. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it was a conspiracy
Yeah,
theory.
but part of one of them was that, and I remember us referring to it quite often early on.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of us.
Yeah, I'm sure it had something to do with the owl guys who hang out in the forest.
Oh, there was Rasputin. That's right.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, so he was the leader or part of a cult.
Yes, that's right.
That would go into the forest and have orgies and jerk off circles. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I've got a good memory of what we've talked about.
That's not all the time. That was one time.
I mean, it's Cam, come on.
Callbacks, mate.
It's probably come up more than once.
You know there was callbacks.
All right.
Now, the video that I watched of the Persian carpet flatworm, this is from the BBC. It's on their YouTube channel. It's titled "Meet the Penis Fencing Flatworm," and it's narrated by what's his face, the big guy, the main man. What's his name?
Attenborough.
Jesus, no, Attenborough. Yeah. The man upstairs. No, Attenborough. And basically, this is really nice looking little flatworm honing along the ocean floor. Finds another flatworm. They both have it's like a double pronged penis. Just starts like appears out of the top of their body kind of a thing, or the underneath, but it's high up. And they kind of have a fencing competition, or like it's almost like tag or something, where whoever gets their penis on the top of the other one's body first, ejaculates on that body and wins. Right. So it's a competition to see who can do it first.
When you said fencing, I was imagining, when you're a kid and you're doing a piss with your mate and you're like sword fight with your pee streams.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yep. I'm glad there wasn't dead silence after I said that.
I got to say, Salty, I thought about it, but it's like, no, that's a universal experience. We've all done that.
Is it though?
Yep, Cam, you're the weirdo here.
You should let me have my dance before the podcast.
I do kind of like how this is probably the most scientific we've ever gotten on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job. Anyway, so to get it back on topic, one of them gets completely jizzed on and then crawls away like a sad little flatworm. All this is in the video.
So this is two males?
Well, no, they're hermaphrodites, I think.
Oh, that's right. So one of them, the one that loses gets jizzed on, is like, okay, well, now I'm pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep. That's pretty much how it works. This is only with one particular type of flatworm. There's many colours of the flatworm and sea slug rainbow, and I guess if there's one takeaway from this podcast is, I think we can all celebrate that.
Yeah, we should be more like sea slugs.
Just say to my parents if they could go back and not listen to this one.
Do your parents listen?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
Why? That's too much knowledge about their son. What do your parents think of us, Cam?
Do you want to know the rankings? You might not like the answer, Robbo.
No, I'm happy to be second to you, Cam. Yeah, I'm assuming you're first, and then me second, Toddy third.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe. Don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
All right, the last thing I have is about the Glaucus atlanticus, which you guys might have seen. If there's kind of it kind of goes viral every now and then, again, because it's kind of the coolest looking one.
Does it look like Pikachu?
Or sorry,
is it the one that looks like Pikachu?
No, and I guess when I say the coolest looking one, there are a lot of really cool looking ones, but this one especially, it looks like a spaceship or a flower that is really spiky and also a sea creature.
Nice.
like something from the Avatar movie. If you Google blue glaucus, Glaucus, and this is the one that has put. Yeah, you've seen this guy, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great to look at. Just great to know these things exist. This is the one that's put this fella in hospital 3 times.
Is it because he keeps picking them up?
Yeah, and he's got a whole TikTok where he's like, "Oh, I'm out in the ocean doing picking up things like this," and he gets a lot of viewers. He says he wants to be a marine biologist and he hopes to be one day.
Right.
But he's like 23 years old, and as far as I know, he's still just going out there getting stung by things and getting hospitalized. And that's not going to get you in to the course. It'll actively probably get you turned away. Anyway, so his name, he's an Australian fella. His name is Julian Obaid, Obayd. This is from Yahoo News. A Queensland TikTok star says he was hospitalised after suffering excruciating pain from attempting to rescue dozens of blue dragons.
Right.
He was not attempting to rescue them.
Mm.
And then so he finds a little puddle of them. So apparently they wash up in Queensland quite often. He picks up a puddle of them and they sting him. And he in the TikTok, he's like, "Oh, it's probably going to be okay." And then it cuts to him in the hospital and he's like, "It was not okay."
Yeah.
But yeah, third time that he's done this, or done this to the point where he's been in hospital. He did not have a good time of it. He said, "My heart was super fast when I came into hospital, but I'm not sure if that was because I'm stressing. I told them what happened and they said, 'You're so dumb.'" After being given painkillers and injection, he was made to rest in hospital overnight. He describes himself as pretty stupid.
Yeah.
He's got a stupid face, and he seems to still be doing this.
So fuck this guy particularly.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy at all.
I just read an interesting thing about their venom.
Oh yeah, let's go with this. This is great.
So it's not their own venom, right?
No.
It says the blue dragon stores the man-o'-war's stinging nematocysts.
Yep.
Within its finger-like appendages. So it gets the venom off of the Portuguese man-o'-wars and just bloody puts it in its holsters.
Yes. This is something that I think nudie branks do.
Right. Because you said something about
frequently.
they get toxins from food and stuff, right?
Yeah. So they find young toxic jellyfish. I think the man-o'-war is kind of the most famous example, and this one is kind of the most famous visual example because it's got spiky appendages everywhere.
Yeah.
So they ingest it while they're young, and then they wait till that toxin matures, and they just store it in there.
Oh, right. So they actually eat the jellyfish.
Yeah.
And work the toxin through their bodies into their own.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they just went up and tickled it a bit. Give me your nematodes. And then they and it took off.
No.
Yeah, right. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is some of the coolest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Mm.
I think they also ingest other things, and this was alluded to on that podcast I mentioned, symbiote species with coral and stuff. So it's not only venomous stuff that they ingest and kind of reuse somehow, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But don't go picking them up.
No. I would just say don't pick anything up in the ocean. You know when you should touch something from the ocean? When you're at the aquarium and there's a little kiddie tank where there's stuff in there that's safe for you to touch.
Yeah, because they're not going to put anything that'll kill you in there.
Yeah. Otherwise, leave it alone.
Yeah.
That's my tip.
This fella has videos of him going and standing on Portuguese man-o'-wars that are washed up on the beach.
Yeah.
And while I was ragging on this guy before, I've done it unintentionally. It's possible I've done it intentionally if I've got my gumboots on and I'm on the beach.
Right.
Because they wash up on the beach and they die and they just sit there all puffed up. And if you stand on one, they burst, they pop and make a popping sound. So it's a little bit fun to do that.
Also, Portuguese man-o'-wars are not one creature, right? They're a collection of creatures.
I think there's a main one. There's one that I found a lot washed up on the beach the other day that were related, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they look kind of similar. But when you look really closely, they almost look like a little computer chip or something.
Right.
And then they've got a little sail on the top of their bodies, and they basically hoon around on top of the water, letting the wind blow them wherever it takes them. We're using their little sail and just stinging shit on top of the water.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember reading something about it, like the different parts of its body are actually like different little organisms and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I dreamt that.
I mean, is that going to be the next No Dogs Club? Is Portuguese Men of War? We're going to need to work out how we pluralize it first.
Or we've done land and we've done no, because turtles are kind of their sea, right? Their water as well. But we did tortoises a little bit to land.
Yeah. I mean,
we did land and sea, and we need to give the sky
a fair shake.
Yeah, all right. I'll talk about an extinct bird in New Zealand.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, sorry.
Big one.
Big one.
I'm sure we're going to hear about a large bird. Hey, I found out a couple of sea slug things myself.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
Well, I was like, sea slugs. There has to be some occult stuff involving sea slugs.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of like weird little blokes.
Yep.
And I thought that would appeal. Like if you put in a spell together, you want to like transform things. You've got these little things that can sort of morph and muck around. That'd be great for a spell, for a bit of magic. Not a lot, because I think that people that are putting slugs in their cauldrons, they weren't like finding sea slugs that often. I did find, and I could not find any other source for this, so this might have just been in this person's haiku review, but according to Japanese folklore, that when the gods were asking all of the animals how they would serve humanity, the only animal that didn't answer was the sea slug.
Yeah.
And so they were cursed to just forever relax, which is a pretty good curse if you ask me. And seems like quite in keeping with what they wanted. They just wanted to be able to chill out on the bottom of the ocean. But I think maybe they were stripped of some of their intelligence. If the gods are going around asking the animals what they want to do, and they're the only ones that didn't answer.
I think it also said that they would remain indecisive and wishy-washy.
Hang on. So they're stripped of their intelligence, given very colourful, floaty vibes.
Yeah.
And very, very diverse and fascinating sex lives.
Yeah. Well, as Salty pointed out, they were also made indecisive, but like you don't want to be making a lot of decisions. This is perfect for them. I don't think it's a curse. I think they did it all right. The other little bit of sea slug spirituality that I found out about was from the Manus Islands. And so the way that a religion on the Manus Islands worked was that when you die as the man of the house, they would take your skull and put it in the attic or like up in the roof, and then your ghost is stuck at the house to help out.
Right.
And to just generally be a protective spirit over the household.
Sorry to interrupt, Cam, but there's a real like 90s comedian joke, and like, even when I'm dead, I still got to take out the trash.
Yeah. So, well, this is the thing. This would fit perfectly into that hacky 90 comedian's bit, because they're not like super respected. Like if anything's going wrong, like they get blamed and they get threatened, they're like, we can just throw your skull out, and the ghost has to like get into line and sort things out. But so then what happens is so the man of the house has died, his son has the ghost in the house, he then has his own son. When that new father dies, his son is like, well, we'll put dad's skull up in the roof, and grandpa's skull, clearly this ghost is not fit for purpose because he couldn't even protect his own son from death.
Mm.
Let's chuck it in the ocean, and his ghost can go become a sea slug.
And chill out. And not have to make any decisions.
Yeah.
That actually sounds pretty good in the end then.
Yeah, Grandpa won out on that one.
So you get to relax after your life and then your afterlife, and then you get to have your afterlife.
Yeah.
So
just chilling out on the seafloor.
As a ghost, you'd be kind of like spilling things around the house, creating tripping hazards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being one of those jerk ghosts.
Yeah, encouraging dangerous behavior.
No, you're supposed to be not encouraging dangerous behavior. You're supposed to be saying, "Oh, that's not how you do it." Oh, you're going to want a different drill bit for that.
Yeah, low key though. You'd be like, "Well, I can't wait to this. Yeah. Can't wait till I'm out of here."
Oh yeah, you
ghost just comes every now and again and goes, "You've put weight on."
No, I get you. You'd be creating tripping hazards so you could speed up getting to go join the sea slugs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Being an old crabbity dick.
Yeah. That's great. Manus Island.
There is there's another. I come across another Japanese folktale, but it's not necessarily sea slugs. It's just a slug. But it's one of those tales of like animals becoming humans and stuff. So there's a character called the Snail Son in Japanese folktales. It says it's a type of enchanted husband that becomes disenchanted from his animal form and becomes a handsome man. There's a variation of it, regional variation, where it's a slug.
So we're talking, this is just a regular slug that becomes a man?
Yeah, so the snail son-in-law, a slug is adopted by a poor old couple as their son. One day the slug takes 3 grains of cooked rice and places them on the mouth of the daughter of the wealthiest man in town and lies to her father that she stole the rice. And he demands her in return. Can't do that. But anyway, the slug marries the woman, who gives him a needle. On the way to their house, the couple sees some demons quarreling. The slug prickles a demon with the needle and is given a magic mallet in return. The slug asks his human wife to use the mallet to turn him into a human man, and she does it. Happy ending.
I can't believe this is the same country and culture that invented video games.
And then Nintendo.
Yeah, like this is literally, you read a video game, you're like, wow, that's crazy. And then you read, these myths, and you're like, oh, okay, that's where it came from. So the slug, could talk?
I guess, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Spreads lies and misinformation. And then gets turned into a man.
There you go.
Do you guys want to know about the newest sea slug?
Oh, I'd love to know about the newest sea slug.
The newest sea slug is called Bathydevius caudactylus. And this is the most epically named region of the ocean, the Midnight Zone.
Whoa. Can I get a spelling on Bathydevius caudactylus? Soldo?
Yes. BATHYDEVIUS. CAUDACTYLUS.
CAU, say that again.
CAUDACTYLUS.
Oh. So low. All right. Sorry, carry on.
That's all right. It looks kind of like a squid more than a slug. It's a deep sea thing, has a large gelatinous hood and paddle-like tail and lights up with brilliant bioluminescence. And I think this is the one that catches its prey with its like hood thing. It's like a Venus flytrap.
Oh yeah.
So it was dubbed the mystery mollusk in 2000 off Monterey Bay. I guess that's where the Midnight Zone is.
Yeah, the Monterey Bay has a famous aquarium.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sometimes in the tap room, if we've got a projector that we don't really use, but sometimes in wintertime, we pop it on and pop a little Monterey Bay live stream going on of one of the tanks or something.
That's
just
nice.
Just as a nice little bit of movement. Yeah. So I can definitely recommend looking. I think they've got like otter cams as well.
Okay.
Which is pretty fun too.
So they're the only nudibranch known to live in the deep water column of the ocean. The rest of them are pretty shallow boys.
Wow. I'm looking at some photos of them now. really interesting to look at.
So yeah, most sea slugs use a raspy tongue to feed on prey that's attached to the seafloor. These guys have their big hood and they trap little floating around crustaceans and stuff. Munch them up.
There was a battle bot that had a similar concept, Megatento.
Okay.
It was, I think it might be based on a Japanese something, a video game or
some weird myth.
Yeah, old myth. And it would it had like a big, essentially a hood or a big thing that would smother the other robot, so it couldn't really go anywhere, and then jostled about. It looked cool. It was big enough to make it onto the television, I guess, but up against those crazy spinners, it didn't really stand a chance.
Yeah, no.
Fun to look at though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I enjoyed learning about that one.
The mystery mollusk in the Midnight Zone.
That is a great concept album.
Oh yeah.
Like moody, ambient, but somehow metal.
Yeah. About the Midnight Zone. Or do you mean about the mystery mollusk in the Midnight Zone?
Both, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a cool dubstep song, I think by Benga and Koki, that has got like a jellyfish swimming to the rhythm of the music.
Yep.
That's really cool. Kind of in the same vibe.
Yeah, that on next to the Monterey Bay stream.
Oh, my Lord.
Imagine that.
All right, is that sea slugs?
Any other? I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more.
Oh,
I'm sure these sea slugs have been involved in a bunch of medical breakthroughs.
Is a leech a sea slug?
No.
What's a leech then?
Because you get them in swamps and shit, right? In water,
fresh water. Yeah,
right. Swamp slug.
So it is a slug though.
Not of the sea variety. That would be a sea leech.
Here you go. Sea slugs can remove their heads and regrow their bodies.
Crikey.
Medical science is looking at this. Regenerative sea slug offers distant hope for humans. Wonder if they're trying to say that could mean we could regrow our limbs.
I think that's a big corner of research. So a leech, you can get ocean leeches.
Okay. But
they are different to sea slugs because they are invertebrates rather than gastropods.
Right.
This is from theguardian.com. The leech is not a slug, nor is it a bug, reptile, or insect. Sometimes it is not slimy either.
Now, is the distinguishing factor there because they have a head?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Like they have a head and a body rather than all being sort of one mass?
Yeah. So it's a segmented bristle worm.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like one.
Yeah. Now, I have seen on Jackass, I can't remember which one, they attach a leech to someone's eyeball.
Yeah, Steve-O.
That was not good to look at. It might have been on the most recent one.
That was awful.
Yeah. But Salty, you wanted to remember something fondly that they did on Jackass.
On Wild Boys.
Oh, this is on Jackass. I'm pretty sure this is on Jackass too.
Is it? Okay.
Is it 2, not 2?
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, they there's like a sea cucumber that when it's aggravated, it releases a stream of jizzy ropes into the water. And so they jump in the ocean and obviously grab them and just start pretending they're dicks and jerking them off. It's probably awfully unkind to the sea cucumber, cruel, to be honest, but looks pretty funny.
Yeah, it's funny how back then I enjoyed seeing it for sure.
Yeah.
And then when you mentioned it the week, I was like, oh, is that something I enjoy seeing anymore?
Yeah. I don't know if that would fly nowadays.
Yeah.
Although it's not really that old. It's not like it was that long ago.
Yeah. Things have changed pretty quickly though.
Yeah.
We're too woke now. You can't even jump into the ocean and jack off a
cucumber, right? Fucking hell.
Because of woke. Donald Trump will be bringing that back, and somehow we'll all be better.
Trump's bringing back jerking off sea cucumbers.
God.
You heard it here first.
All right. Well,
speaking of sea cucumbers.
Yes.
Sea cucumbers breathe through their anus.
Oh, yeah.
And so when certain species of sea cucumbers take a big gulp of breath through their anus, there's a fish called the pearlfish. Sneaks in there. That's where it lives. Pearlfish lives in the anus of sea cucumbers.
There you go. I'm on the sea cucumber diet. I see cucumber and I eat it. I read, speaking of things in your anus, I did, to bring this back to Hypothetical Institute territory, I read a great conspiracy today on r/conspiracy where someone has theorized that, remember there's kind of that rumor going around, or that story going around, if you soaked a tampon in vodka and then put it up your butt, you'd get drunk quicker?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this person...
Yes.
Yep. And this person's theory is there are people who were teenagers doing this trend over a decade ago, and they're the same people writing the Snopes denial articles trying to erase history and deny they ever used to stick vodka tampons up their bum. So everyone that did it's now so regretful that they've dedicated their career to debunking and skeptical journalism. And there's a whole discussion on it. So there you go.
Great. I'm glad they're keeping busy. And this is the good website, Reddit.
We'd read it, our conspiracy camp. I think we've established by the very fact that they banned me and refused to unban me, and then they got me for account evading when I tried to set up a different account. Yet they frequently talk about censorship on the internet being bad.
This goes to show.
All right, mate. Trump's going to fix it all.
That's it, I think.
That is it.
Slugs.
All right, that's it for the No Dogs Club.
All right. Well, if people want to find us, we're on Patreon, Hypothepod.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? aleofatime.com on Blue Sky?
Yeah, at aleofatime.com on Blue Sky.
You can find me at Sexenheimer, Salty.
The Salt on Blue Sky. The Salt.
Nice.
ESKY.social. How are you supposed to say your name when you say what you are on Blue Sky? Just the name?
Yeah, just say the name. Because most people don't have their fancy bourgeoisie URLs for their names, like Robbo. And thank you to Tammy and Alice, our cooked sponsors.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you next week for a Hypothepod.
Yeah. Later, alligators.
Bye.
Bye.
No, no, no.